What's up guys, Virgil here for JRPG Central, and today I want to talk about the newly announced Dragon Quest XI's. Yes, at long last, the long-awaited Switch version of Dragon Quest XI is upon us. We knew for a while that this was at least coming out in Japan, but until a couple of weeks ago we had no confirmation on whether or not it was coming stateside, or what new additions the game may have. Now we know that the game is coming to the West this fall, and that it's coming with a ton of exclusive features not found in any other version of the game. So in this video, I want to talk about what exactly those new additions are, and what this means for owners of the original game. So let's get right into the video. As I said before, Dragon Quest XI's is being billed as the definitive edition of the game. As such, it has certain features and enhancements not found in the vanilla version. Here's a breakdown of exactly what those new additions are. You've got a fully orchestrated soundtrack, a Japanese voice track, a 16-bit inspired mode, all new story quests for each character, increased battle speed, and a party following mechanic. The party following mechanic I haven't seen confirmed anywhere, but based on the gameplay shown, it seems that your party members do follow you around during field exploration, which is not the case in the PS4 or PC versions of the game. It might seem like a small thing, but I appreciate the change quite a bit. The increased battle speed is another very welcome change, especially for things like grinding, though I will be curious to see how exactly they implement it. Usually these sorts of things are added to remasters of older JRPGs, and speed up the game in a way that was not technically possible on original hardware. So with the Switch being much weaker than a PS4 or a PC, I'll be curious to see how exactly they pull this off. Of course, I'm also obviously happy about the addition of the full orchestral soundtrack. If you've seen my Dragon Quest XI review, you know that my main issue with the game was its soundtrack. I found the quality of the soundtrack we got to be incredibly lacking, and the simple fix would have been to include the orchestral versions of the tracks that were available. So this edition I'm very, very happy about, even if really it should have been there from the start, instead of being used as an incentive to get you to buy the game all over again. And that is where I have some slight beef with this definitive edition of the game.
Guys, beef is what's for dinner.
Definitive editions and Game of the Year editions are nothing new to the industry for sure, but this was announced just under 5 months after the game came out. For many who either didn't play right at launch or took their time with the game like I did, it could feel like you just got done playing the game you paid $60 for not that long ago. So for PS4 and PC players, I could see how this could feel like a bit of a slap in the face, and honestly, I wouldn't blame you for feeling that way. This version of the game obviously raises questions about those original vanilla versions, and whether or not they will ever get some of the additions that are found in this new version of the game. In fact, Square was asked about this shortly after Dragon Quest XI's was announced, and their response was that currently they are, quote, undecided on whether they will bring any of the features elsewhere. Now, before you get too upset, let me give you my personal take and what I think will more than likely happen here. While I do think this is kind of gross and scummy for the early adopters who bought the game at or near launch, I wouldn't be worried about some or most of these features not coming to the vanilla version at a later date. Square isn't going to come out and say they're bringing the features over because, of course, they want the Switch version to sell, and they want this to be incentive for it to sell, thus the undecided comment. I think once the Switch version comes out, and has been out for a bit, we'll see this content come either via DLC or a new standalone SKU. Best case scenario would be both. That way, owners of the original disc don't have to repurchase the entire game again just to get this new content. However, this is Square Enix we're talking about here, so I wouldn't put it completely past them to just leave early adopters completely out in the rain, but I am going to give them the benefit of the doubt here, even though they really don't deserve it at this point. So does it suck for early adopters? Yeah, kind of. Is it worth getting up in arms about? Personally, I don't think so. At least not yet. Now, if Square is radio silent months after the Switch version's launch, then yeah, another conversation will need to be had. But until then, I wouldn't sweat it too much. But what do you guys think of Dragon Quest XI's? I know that many of my followers and subscribers were waiting specifically for this Switch version, so for you guys, I'm sure this is great news. But to those of you who bought the original version of the game, Do you feel burned by this version getting announced so soon after launch? Let me know in the comments down below. Remember, if you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, or if you hate The Office, that other button seems to work too. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and I will catch you guys in the next video.